What if we are stranded and there is no water to wash the deceased with, as in the places of catastrophe, plane wrecks or whatever. We're in a place that there is not enough water to wash the deceased with. Or what if the corpse of the deceased is completely torn off, burnt, badly damaged, that we cannot wash it because it would fall off? In this case, we perform tayammum for the deceased and do the wiping of the hands and the face to the best of our ability. Now, the sunnah is that people should, those who were involved in washing the deceased, should perform ghusl afterwards. Because the Prophet in a hadith said, whoever washed a deceased person, let him do ghusl. And scholars dispute whether this was abrogated or remains as it is. It is best to do so because it's not something that is difficult or harmful, insha'Allah Azza wa Jal. What about if the person who died was a martyr and he died at the battlefield? Martyrs who died at the battlefield, not at a hospital, not at back home, they died in the battlefield, on the battlefield. These are not washed, they're not shrouded in different clothes. Rather, they are to be buried as they are in their own clothes. And they're not also offered funeral prayer, because this is what the Prophet did, alayhi salatu wasalam, in the martyrs of Uhud, the battle of Uhud. He ordered them to be buried in their blood, in their own clothes, and he did not offer the funeral prayer. How to shroud a deceased? The ruling on shrouding a deceased is done or learned from the hadith of the pilgrim who was thrown off the back of his camel and broke his neck. The Prophet said, shroud him in 2 pieces of cloth, a lower garment and an upper garment that would cover his entire body. This is the sunnah. So if there was only one garment, and we're talking about extreme cases, and in this case, we should cover as much as possible of his body, beginning from the upper part, and whatever is left, then we should cover it with whatever leaves of trees, al-idkhar, or plantations that has a pleasant fragrance to it, as this was what had happened with Mus'ab ibn Umair, may Allah be pleased with him, at the time of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. Now, if the deceased was in the state of ihram, then as mentioned earlier, he is shrouded in his ihram, in 2 pieces of his clothes, but without covering the head. The head must not be covered, because the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, do not cover his head. So the sunnah in normal people, men should be shrouded in 3 pieces of garment, and women should be shrouded in 5 pieces of cloth, 1 to cover the lower part of the body known as izar, and the other one is to cover the upper part of the body known as the head cover, which is the khimar. And then we have the qamis, which covers the upper body, unlike the khimar that covers the head. And then the 2 outer wrappers that would cover the full body. This is the sunnah, 5. Some people say, no, 5 is too much, we use 3. Some use a little bit more, a little bit less. All is fine. And the best is that it should be white, and the fabric best is to be in cotton. But if there is no cotton, one wants to use something else, then again, there is no problem in that. هذا والله أعلم ونسبة العلم إليه أسلم وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد.